Spring has definitely sprung, and I am in decluttering mode. So I'm going to be going through my house, starting out kind of slow with the things that I don't really have a huge sentimental attachment to, and focus on learning to let go. So I ask that you come join me. Maybe you'll get some pointers from this, and I'll see you soon. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Kelly's Prepping Kitchen. Today I wanted to talk to you about if it's possible to be a prepper but also live a minimalist lifestyle. If you're a prepper, does that make you a hoarder? Let's talk about it. I started prepping. I don't even like using that word if I'm being honest. I started my preparedness journey way before 2020. I find that a lot of the things I have in my house are kind of causing me to feel like the walls are closing in on me. Because of the season that I'm in my life, we live comfortably in our home right now, but I've mentioned before that one of these days when Corey retires, we would like to go traveling the country in an RV full time. So we're not going to be able to take all of our stuff with us. We'll probably get a storage unit for the things that are important to us, like our freeze dryer and things like that. We're not going to get rid of everything we own, but we are probably going to downsize tremendously. And if you've ever been in a situation where you found out that you had to move rather suddenly, it can be kind of panic-inducing to try to go around and sell things quickly, and you have to get your heart and your mind prepared to let go of things. I have a couple of experiences myself with having to get rid of stuff suddenly. When I was going through my divorce, I lived in Dallas, but I had a daughter with a medical condition that required immediate access to specialized care in Houston. Without going into too many details of my bitter divorce, let's just say roadblocks were put in my path to prevent me from moving with her to get her closer to the hospital and the access to care that she needed. Then I did finally have to reach out to a senator and get my residency restriction removed. And once that took effect, I had to move within 48 hours. I still had a house, a 3-bedroom house full of stuff and no real time to go through it. I ended up having to leave a lot of heirlooms behind in my garage, so whoever came along and bought it, they probably had a field day going through all the things that I had to leave behind. If I didn't act quickly, then it would look like that I didn't really need to move. I was just trying to move my child away from her father and blah, blah, blah. Like I said, a lot of nastiness that took place in that case. It's a part of my life I rather, not focus too much on. But needless to say, I know what it's like to lose a lot of stuff at once. Also, living where we live, Hurricane Harvey hit our town and wiped out a good majority of homes, businesses, schools, and although we were very blessed that it didn't happen to us, it came close, but we were able to go out into the community and help those people in need who lost everything, lost their photo albums, precious heirlooms that their loved ones who are no longer here left to them. People go through these types of situations every day. People have to flee from wildfires that engulf their home, tornadoes, floods, everything. Where I'm going with this is trying to prepare your brain and your heart to let go of things. We came into this world with nothing. We're leaving this world with nothing. Physically in this world, we're gaining everything if you're saved by grace through faith. But I want to talk about getting rid of things. I'm going to take y'all along on my journey as I go through my house and declutter, and maybe that will give y'all some inspiration on getting started yourself. Now, I'm not going to be one of those people that pushes minimalism on people. There are plenty of people that are comfortable in their life with a lot of things. In this day and age, we need to hang on to the things that just give us comfort. And if living with a bunch of stuff makes you comfortable, then that's great. My children's generation is not the same as my generation. I don't think that heirlooms are important to them like they were to my generation. And I'm just speaking for my children. Your children might be different, but like I have nice, fine china. It doesn't really hold any sentimental value, but it's worth a lot of money and it's really pretty. But how often do we bust out with our china? Not often. To me, it seems like those china display cases are kind of fallen by the wayside. You don't really see that much anymore. Honestly, I don't think my kids are interested in it, so I'm probably going to have to rehome that. Recently, Corey and I, we had a bunch of stuff listed on Facebook Marketplace. Some stuff was moving, some stuff wasn't, and the things that weren't moving was kind of surprising. You know, we had them marked down at a pretty decent price, so we just said, you know what, forget it, let's just slash everything in half. And we did, and things started selling like crazy. So I don't know, the times we live in, I'm not gonna pass judgment on anybody. I mean, we've had yard sales where I feel like I've got things priced at a really, really good price and people just want to come lowball us. And you know, you got to find a place in the middle because we're all struggling in some way. I had this big, huge round chair, but it just wasn't functional for us anymore. We paid good money for it. I originally listed it for $100, which was fair. It just wasn't moving, so I reduced it to $40. It sold within a couple of hours. It also is a matter of the right people seeing it at the right time. We've got grills and smokers that Corey's trying to sell. I told him, you know, hang on, because we were trying to sell them in the winter. I was saying, as we get closer to spring and summer, more people are going to be interested in that. And we did slash the prices, but those two things went as well. So we just are trying to get in the habit of letting stuff go. So this has some sentimental value to me. It's a little bit dusty because it's been sitting in storage, but as you can see, it's a training toilet that one of my mom's friends made Chloe when she was born, and the jewels come off. So like if somebody wanted to buy this but they didn't want the jewels or whatever, the hand craftsmanship is incredible. It's solid wood, it's very heavy, but you've got the toilet paper holder on this side, the Chloe sticker and all that. All those stickers can be removed and customized for whoever. Then we got like a little magazine holder on this side. I love this thing. I've been trying to sell it for probably a year. I put it in the last yard sale. I got it at $20. That's a steal. Could I pass it down to one of my children? Sure, but neither one of my children think they want to have children. If they do, they said they want to adopt an older child. The bottom line is they don't want this chair. It makes a cute conversation piece. You know, I can leave it sitting in our guest bathroom and people will ask about it. The man that made this lost a finger, so I feel really, really bad just like practically giving it away. But I've got it marked at 20 and now people are starting to kind of ask about it. But you know, you just got to prioritize the things that you're willing to let go. So I am going to start off kind of easy today. I am going to focus on going around the house and picking up trash. Trash is easy to get rid of. I have no sentimental attachment to trash or things that are broken that just don't function anymore. And then I'm going to gradually work my way to the more difficult things. I've got a few of these Neutrogena wipes left. I took a couple of them camping with us the other day. They're as dry as a bone. I don't know when I got these, but I think I bought like a big box of them at Costco a couple of years ago, and they're individually wrapped, so you would think they would be moist. They're not. They feel like sandpaper. Now, I could probably run them under the water and maybe use them that way, but to me, I'm like, if they're all dry out like that, I don't even know if it's good to use on my skin. So things like that, I'm just going to go ahead and go part ways with. I've got my empty containers of shampoo and conditioner. We can find ways to hang on to things, and I get it. There's been bottles of products that I really like that I'll just keep adding water to till I get every last drop out of the bottom. But because this is from a company that makes things and they don't use preservatives, it starts to separate and get discolored. It just doesn't last as long. So things like this that have been sitting in my shower and I'm not really using them anymore, I can't get much out very easily, I'm going to go through and collect all the soap bottles, shampoo bottles. I've got makeup here. I don't wear makeup often. I'm sure you noticed from all my videos. This makeup is probably more than 5 years old. So I'm going to go through my makeup drawer and just get rid of things. I'd rather just start fresh and get new makeup than hang on to something this old. Candles. I must have probably 50 candles around the house. A lot of them are down to the bottom part. And if it's to where I light a candle and it goes out on its own after a couple of minutes because I'm just too low, I'm going to go ahead and toss it. Or if it's so uneven that one wick stays lit but the other one doesn't, and then eventually that one goes out, just going to get rid of it. I used to have a candle warmer. When we try to preserve things, we're actually bringing other things into our house to try to preserve things. Do you know what I'm saying? I used to just take the bottom part of a candle, put it on the candle warmer, and then dump it into another candle where I can't really light it. And then before you know it, I have a full thing of all these different fragrances, and it doesn't have a particular smell to it or anything. This is the cat room, so the cats kind of have free reign of everything. If we've got candles up there, they might have walked by and some of their cat hair has fallen in, or maybe if I haven't lit them in a long time, there might be little dust bunnies or cobwebs starting to form. So I'm just going to go around the house and throw away candles that are not functioning properly. Not to mention, before I started doing all my research on candles and cleaning products and a certain big brand that sells candles and lotions, I started researching what all they put into their ingredients, like their plug-ins that were always causing us to get migraine headaches. And I did research and found out it made pets sick. I'm going to go around and get rid of those candles because I don't really light them anymore. I don't want to light them around my family. We've switched over to soy candles. So again, that's going to be my focus for today. Tomorrow's a new day. I'll focus on things that have a little more sentimental value to me. I did a video a while back on Swedish death cleaning, which is kind of an interesting name, but it grabs your attention. And I'm getting to the phase of my life where, like I said, we're going to downsize. So whether we move into an RV to travel for a couple of years, or we just downsize and move into a smaller home, if something was to happen to me and Corey, I don't want to put the burden on my children of having to go through all of our things and get rid of them and figure out what the value is of something. And something else that takes up quite a bit of space in our home is this bookshelf of Chloe's. We had that crate in front of the bottom row of books because those are some original classics that Layla came in and chewed up about $200 worth of books. Chloe was ticked. We live in a digital age where you can stream music, you can stream movies and books. I also think that nothing lasts forever, and we don't know where we're heading in the future as far as our access to technology. I know that AI is taking over a lot of things, and I just think it's good to hold on to some things that are tangible, like books that are homesteading books that show you how to grow gardens, plant seeds, to do canning. And cookbooks are good to have. We're not always going to have access to Pinterest for recipes, so it's all about balance. So as I tried to declutter, I'm also going to hang on to a couple of things. If we ever had an SHTF situation and we were without power or something, I would definitely want to have some books on hand to keep my mind busy. Let's get started on this cleaning journey, shall we? I know, I'm already getting sidetracked and I just started. I forgot to mention medication. Medication is something that you're not going to want to just dispose of in your trash. I think there's a certain way you do it. You can maybe drive it to your local pharmacy and they'll dispose of it. I have all these different medications that I haven't thrown away. Like my doctor will put me on something and it doesn't work out, so I get switched to something else, but I never got rid of the things that weren't working for me. I've had a doctor misdiagnose me with an infection, so I've got some antibiotics here, but I'm not going to get rid of those because in SHTF situation, if something happened and you couldn't get a hold of a doctor, I know they have different antibiotics for different things, but I'm going to hang on to the antibiotics. I've got things that I just take on occasion, my naproxen for my knee. If you're on a decluttering spree and you are going to declutter some of your medication, just make sure you dispose of it properly. I also am going to need to declutter some of my papers. Do you have a binder, an organized binder for if something was to happen to you? I know that's kind of a morbid topic. I know none of us like addressing that. But if you've ever lost a loved one, like, my dad passed away unexpectedly, and I was kind of left scrambling, trying to get into his banking, to reach people and get into his computer, his passwords. I'm going to work on a binder for my family. If something was to happen to me, I want them to be able to access my checking account before they're shut out of it, especially if you have a family member, a child who has a medical condition. Now, my child, Olivia, is 21 years old, but there's a lot of stuff that she doesn't even know because I still do it for her, like who she gets what medication from. We've got her amino acids that come from a certain pharmacy, her other drug that comes from a different pharmaceutical company, in addition to wanting to train our children to be able to live life when we're no longer here. That's just something I want to do to make life easier for my family. So I have a big stack of papers here and binders with notes that I need to go through and just get a little bit of order. So if something was to happen to me, then people know who to reach. I'm also going to be going through my pantry and getting rid of a lot of things that we're just not interested in eating or we just don't care for. There's been things that I've bought over the years without trying them just because they were on sale, and then we try them and we don't like them. So when we go do panic purchases in times of uncertainty, or we get a bunch of something because it's on sale, and then your family just kind of slows down on eating it, which is what's happened in my case a few times. Let your food that you're just letting sit in your pantry, taking up space that you have no real intentions of eating, let it be a blessing to someone else. Maybe you have a blessing box in your neighborhood like we do. It's a give and take situation. The community comes and they put things in, and people who are in need take things out. No questions asked. And also check with your local churches, see if there's any pantries in your area where you can donate your food and be a blessing to someone else. But don't hang on to food that you have no intentions of eating. Like, our circumstances change, our taste buds change. Over the past 5 years, I've had a hysterectomy, which kind of induced menopause symptoms on me, and just things taste different. We get different health diagnoses, like Corey and I both have high blood pressure, countless cans of Spam. We're not going to be eating that on a regular basis. Maybe do a walkthrough of your pantry and just see if there's any of that you would be willing to let go of and bless someone else. These cereals right here, I've asked everybody in my family, are y'all gonna eat this? Because they've been sitting up there for months. Nobody's touching them. And everybody said no, they're not gonna eat them because they tend to like the basic traditional cereals. And I've got things here like horchata, cinnamon roll cereal. Nobody's really into these pumpkin spice. The corn Chex, I guess this was from when I made Chex Mix during the holiday season. But these are all things that are open. They're gonna go stale, so I'm getting rid of them. As you can see, it's very important to trim the wick. I'm guilty of not doing that. These wicks have melted in to the candle. I've got a candle here that I attempted to add another candle to, so it's like right at the very tip. The wick just sticks out like this much. So sometimes you might light it and it goes out immediately. This used to be my 50s themed diner, but you wouldn't be able to tell unless you look up at the wall. This is now my storage area for when we have yard sales. Our neighborhood only lets us have them once a year, so it's not even worth it trying to go put all this stuff up because we just throw it in this room, and then before you know it, it's time to put it all out again. But Corey and I talked about whatever does not sell in the yard sale this time, and if it's not selling on Facebook Marketplace, we're just gonna get rid of it. We're just gonna take it to Goodwill. As you can see, that narrow walkway there, those are all of our freeze-dried foods. I've done a video somewhat recently on all the freeze-dried food that we've made. Well, freeze-dried food is supposed to take up less space, but because we've made so much of it, this is about a year's worth. Now it's taking up more space. So when we have to shimmy through that area to get over here to the freeze dryer and we're walking with trays, it's just kind of a challenge. I wanted to bring you in here because I've got more candles in here. Have you ever bought a candle online, like by Goose Creek, if they're having a sale, and you didn't smell it but you think you'll like it and you don't? They're okay, they're not my fave, but I'll probably just gift them to people. So we've got peanut butter crisp cereal, cookie butter snowball, candy corn. It's okay. Just I have about 5 candles here that are not really my favorite. Peppermint clouds. Yeah, so this one's okay. But still, I just have so many candles. If I'm not absolutely madly in love with a candle, I don't want it. Fruity cereal. I'm trying to stay focused, which is very challenging for me. My brain is going in so many different directions as I try to go through and declutter. Houston City has, I don't want to go into politics. We have people that live on our green belts. There have been multiple fires started. They've got a arson investigation going on with the fires in Texas and the Ozarks. And a little bit suspicious, but you know, we can all do our own research on those fires. But you know, do you have all of your important documents in one area? Like if you had to get out, do you have a bug out bag that has food for a couple of days for you and your family, change of clothes, whatever toiletries you might need, and then your important documents, your birth certificates, social security cards, passports. That's what I'm going through now. Again, I'm just trying to get my paperwork in order. I want to make things just as easy as possible on my family if something was to happen to me. Again, that's kind of a morbid thing that not all of us want to address or talk about, but I am going to continue going through my paperwork. All my cards are paid off, although Discover will tell you a different story. In October, someone made some fraudulent charges on my card, and I opened up a case with Discover. They never followed through. They just continued to send me a bill each month with the fraudulent charges, and then they started charging interest on top of those charges, and when I wouldn't pay it, it would charge me late fees. But the crazy thing is, I've sent them certified mail, I've tried to email them, message them, call them. Now that everything is run by AI, it's just so hard to get a live person on the phone to talk about anything. I'm actually calling my daughter now, trying to reach me. How they have her phone number, I have no idea. Why they have her number and not me, I don't know, because they're not calling me. But one of the many joys we have of looking forward to AI taking over everything. And that reminds me, guys, because when I do my nightly Bible study, I'll look up a specific verse. It always says AI generated experiment, and it'll give me some verse from the Bible as my first choice that was from the AI experiment. Make sure that when you are studying the Bible, for starters, I would have a hard copy of the Bible. Be very careful what you look up on the internet. There is so much propaganda and false information out there. Don't want to burden my children with any unpaid bills or any hassles they're going to have to deal with. I'm still alive, and my daughter's already having to deal with the Discover card issue. Y'all know that phrase, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I just called and I got a very nice lady on the phone this time who actually sounded professional and listened to my concerns, and just like that, she was able to rectify the situation. They even took away my cashback bonus points, which I was furious about. So not only were they ruining my credit score, putting bogus charges on my account after I close it, interest fees, late fees, but they took away my cashback bonus points that totaled about $30 or $40. Anyway, I got somebody that knew her stuff on the phone this time, and it's all going to be rectified. I said, okay, well, how's this going to affect my credit score? And she said it would take the credit bureau a couple of months to get the new report, so hopefully this will not affect my score, because I am one of those people that prides myself in a pretty good credit score. So yeah, I'm going to continue going through all my papers. I'm not proud to say this, but Corey and I do not have a will written out, and we really need to get on to that. Not to mention, with Olivia's medical condition, we need to get some power of attorney situation ironed out. If something was to happen to us and she required intervention and was unable to make a decision herself because her condition affects her brain. My mom's will is in here. Just make sure that you're keeping all your paperwork together and then letting your family know where they can find it if something happens to you. I know I've rambled, and I hope that you were able to get something out of this video, though. This is just stuff that's been on my mind lately, and I'm not one of those fear mongers. I don't want to scare anybody. The times we're living in are uncertain. You read your Bible, you're not going to be left in the dark. You're going to understand that these times are actually certain. So you just want to be prepared for whatever curveballs get thrown your way. I am just going to continue to start decluttering, and I'll bring you a video of my progress at another time, but right now I just kind of want to focus on getting it done. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.